The following is a special presentation of the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the AHSAA Radio Network. This is the award-winning AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show, now entering its second decade. With all the scores, highlights, and coverage from around the state of Alabama, nobody covers Alabama high school football like we do. Heard on great radio stations all over Alabama and featuring live reports from experts around the state. If it's happening in high school, we cover it. Presented by Jacksonville State University, the Alabama Department of Transportation, JAX, Main Street Family Care, Russell Do-It Centers, Southern Union State Community College, Southeastern Land Group, and by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles. Now, let's get into some football. This is the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show.
Here we are at the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. J. Jeff Coat and Andy Graham with you for the final show of this year, and we are in the penultimate. You don't get to use that word very often.
You don't.
Penultimate
Quite
week.
well, though.
Yeah,
Very
so 2 weeks away from the Super 7 at Auburn's Jordan-Hare Stadium, and man, we are lighting it up with some great football tonight. Andy, we've got two games still going. Andalusia and Anniston are in overtime, tied at 28. We've got Saraland and Homewood headed into overtime, tied at 50 after a big comeback on both sides because Andalusia was down 21-0. They came back to tie the game at 21 and then tied it again at 28 near the end of regulation. Homewood was down by 2 or 3 scores in their game. They come back to tie it at 50, take Saraland to overtime. Big-time football.
Absolutely. I'm not sure. I think maybe did I hear Andalusia ran the punt back in regulation and scored to go up 35-28.
What is?
I thought I heard.
But I thought I heard a flag on the play.
Well, they said maybe sideline warning. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know that for a fact, but I mean, you talk about some incredible endings to the game. You just mentioned, Saraland and going and Homewood going tied 50. It's a wild night for football in the state of Alabama.
And you know what? There are going to be those kind of games. There are going to be surprises, and we've had some. And one of those is simply this. I talked to probably 5 or 6 people around the state this week about the Hoover-Thompson matchup, and everybody agreed super low scoring, put the over-under around 30. You know what I mean? And it was 9-0 in the regular season. Hoover defeated Thompson 9-0. Thompson goes up in this game 24-0, really never looks back. They wind up, I think, final was 40-10. Yeah. And so they really never look back. In these kind of games, this is what can happen. If one team gets on a roll early, you can fall so far behind that you can't make it back up.
Well, there's that old cliche, you get sick of hearing it, it's hard to beat a team twice in one season. But how often do you ever see a team get shut out and then come back and score 40?
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't happen. You wonder this is kind of the same formula that it was last year.
Sure.
Hoover defeated Thompson in the regular season. Very tight game, three-point game. Thompson, for whatever, I don't know. Mark Freeman just knows how to get a team ready in the playoffs, and obviously they were ready to play tonight. And
getting it done with an 8th-grade quarterback in there, too, who's going to be there for the next 4 years. That's something else. Let's get right to scores on the fours. We don't have to get in a hurry tonight because there's not that many games, but we got good ones. Andy Graham is going to start us off with the 7A bracket. It's brought to you by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles, 90-year-old family recipe available at a store near you. You're going to love them. Andy, tell us who is going to the Super 7.
Absolutely. 7A in the South bracket. Auburn and Phoenix City got together tonight in Phoenix City. It was a battle back and forth. It was I think, 7-6 game at the half. Auburn battles back, scores with about 2 minutes to play, and wins this game, holds on to win 14-13. Auburn will represent the South in the 7A championship game. As we just mentioned, Thompson getting some revenge over Hoover, who won 9-0 in the regular season. That game was at Thompson. in the regular season. It comes to Hoover. Thompson's ready to play. Apparently Hoover not. Thompson wins 40-10, so it will be Auburn and Thompson yet again for the 7A championship, maybe hearkening back to that 2000 game.
That was quite a game there. Let's go to the 6A bracket.
2020 game, I should say.
That's right. We're there in the quarterfinals. Theodore defeats St. Paul's tonight 28-0. It was Mountain Brook over Hartselle 49-30. Muscle Shoals over Gardendale 38-7. And as we told you, Saraland and Homewood locked in an overtime battle. We'll bring you that final just as soon as we can get it. Scores on the Fours is brought to you by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles. We'll come back with Ben Thomas from AL.com. Inside the AHSAA is next. It's time for the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show Player of the Week, brought to you by Main Street Family Care. This week's Player of the Week is Pike County High School wide receiver Ian Foster. Foster delivered in the clutch, lifting the Bulldogs to a 41-39 victory over Alabama Christian last week. Foster snagged 5 passes for 155 yards and 3 touchdowns, the final 2 in a wild fourth-quarter rally, as the Bulldogs clawed from a 25-0 first-half deficit to win 41-39 and advance to the third round of the playoffs. Congratulations to Pike County High School wide receiver Ian Foster, this week's AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show Player of the Week, brought to you by Main Street Family Care on the AHSAA Radio Network.
Hey, it's Brett Pritchard, and I'm here to tell you all about Sims Foods, who you know better as Wickles Pickles. Wickles Pickles, that 90-year-old recipe, wickedly delicious. Relish, okra, and pickles. From Saturday sandwiches, tailgate snacks, to holiday dinners with your family and friends. From their family to yours, Wickles Pickles, those wickedly delicious pickles.
Wickles Pickles, wickedly delicious pickles.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
Hey, slow down, buddy. This ain't Talladega, and that race car driver's number on your back window, you ain't him. Truth is, just 10 miles over the speed limit, and your chances of killing someone are 4 times higher. So forget the number on your window and memorize the one on that orange prison jumpsuit. Stop speeding before speeding stops you.
Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Not long ago, when you or your family needed medical care, your options for treatments were limited. You could wait a week before seeing a doctor or shell out hundreds of dollars for an emergency room visit. At Main Street Family Care, we are committed to helping you heal better and feel better fast. Main Street Family Care works hard to make sure you don't have to leave town to take care of your health. Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Time for Inside the AHSAA with AL.com's Ben Thomas. It's brought to you by the Alabama Department of Transportation, who reminds you to buckle up and drive safe, Alabama. And Ben Thomas from AL.com joins us now, where he covers Alabama high school sports. And I got to tell you, Ben, it's pretty exciting weekend when you look up the matchups. So I got a really interesting game, and it's down in your neck of the woods. So I wanted you to talk about it just for a minute. The Gulf Shores Dolphins really caught fire here.
I'm actually going to be at the Gulf Shores game, JJ. I'm looking forward to that. Of course, we record this a little bit earlier in the day, but they're really doing it right down there. They have a big tailgate and, cooking some jambalaya. Of course, JJ, when I decided to go down there, I didn't know it was going to be about 35 degrees. So I'm kind of regretting that decision, but I do think it'll be a good game. This is a rematch. These two teams played early in the season, like week 2 or 3, so I think you can kind of throw that one out. That game came after we had like 3 weeks of rain, and the field was really sloppy. It'll be colder tonight, but you'll have a dry field, and I think these teams are pretty evenly matched. They both got some key players that play on both sides of the field, so from that standpoint, I think the depth factor will be even. Both got very good quarterbacks. You know, Brendan Byrd is the Gulf Shores quarterback. He was at Spanish Fork for the last 2 years, and so he's played a bunch of games at this point in the playoffs. I think it's going to be fun tonight at Gulf Shores.
Well, not only that, but the Theodore, let's talk about that Theodore St. Paul's game, because Theodore, it seems like to me, has been really good from the start of the season, but it took everybody, I think, till about mid-season or so to really buy into this Theodore team, but everybody's paying attention now.
Well, you know, they dropped from 7A to 6A. Now they've been a fairly good team in that 7A Region 1, but that region's just not real strong, especially when you get to the playoffs. So you drop down. I don't think we knew exactly what to expect from under Eric Collier, who's been there as the head coach a decade. I mean, they run the football and they play defense, and that has actually been a key for their two biggest games have become against Saraland, high-scoring Saraland team, and then last week against Hueytown, against Mr. Football candidate Earl Woods. And what they did was they held the ball. I mean, I think Hueytown had 13 plays in the first half. They got down 22-0 and couldn't catch up. So they get a rematch. These two teams, Theodore and St. Paul's played 3 weeks ago. I mean, it was October 28th, the last week of the regular season. So unlike Gulf Shores and Fate, they just saw each other. St. Paul's is kind of an underdog, Cinderella story, moving up to 6A by competitive balance. They've never been this far in the 6A playoffs. Won a bunch of 5A championships, but never been this far in the 6A playoffs. Should be a kind of a low-scoring game. Both these teams kind of like to do the same thing. Should be interesting over there at Theodore to see if St. Paul's can stay in the game with them.
And speaking of low-scoring games, we get the Hoover-Thompson rematch. Both of these teams really depend on stout defenses. Both of these teams at times have struggled to score points. So if you were setting over-unders for high school games, I mean, this one would be, 32, 35?
Yeah, I would take the under then, probably. Yeah. I mean, the first time around a month ago, it was 9-0 in Hoover. You just don't see a Mark Freeman team get shut out very often. But you're right; they both have very good defenses, and they both struggle a little bit on offense. They're both playing young quarterbacks. Thompson is playing an eighth grader, Trent Seaborn. We used to call them, and when I was in school, we called them a sub freshman, a subby. I hadn't heard that term in a long time, but they're playing a subby, and I think Hoover's playing a ninth grader. So you wonder if the big time atmosphere will get to either one of those guys. I mean, they'll probably have 14,000 at the Hoover Met. In our little AL.com summer survey we did with statewide coaches, they voted this the biggest rivalry in the state right now, and it probably is because this will be the 12th time they've played in the last 6 years, including all 6 state semifinal matchups. So I think it'll be fascinating. Surely they'll score more than 9 points combined, but I don't know how much more.
Exactly. Ben Thomas from AL.com joining us. Ben, thank you so much for your contributions during the year, and we'll look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks in Auburn.
We'll be there. Appreciate it, JJ. Appreciate you.
All right, thank you very much, Ben. As we told you, Saraland and Homewood went into overtime, tied at 50. Saraland gets the win, 57-56 in overtime, stopping the Homewood quarterback Woods Ray on a 2-point conversion attempt inside the 1-yard line.
Wow.
So they go for 2 in the win, come up less than a yard short.
Much like Dave.
Much like Dave last night. Wow, what a game. All right, let's go to Scores on the Forest, brought to you by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles. Hit the 5A bracket for us, Andy.
5A in the South, you had Faith Academy going to Gulf Shores and winning 20-14. On Thursday night, it was a bit of a surprise. Charles Henderson taking out UMS Wright 19-16. In the 5A North bracket, it went to overtime like a couple other games tonight. Pleasant Grove getting the best of Arab 41-38, and Ramsey defeated Leeds 27-19. So you got Faith Academy and Charles Henderson in the South bracket, and in the North you've got Pleasant Grove and Ramsey squaring off to see who makes it one more round.
In the 4A bracket in the South, we told you this one was going to overtime. What a finish. Andalusia down 21-0 against Anderson. They tie the game at 21, fall behind 28-21, tie it at 28, and before overtime, returns a punt with 23 seconds left for a touchdown to get the win, 35-28. No overtime needed. Montgomery Catholic holds on to beat Hanley 21-14, so we'll get the Montgomery Catholic and Andalusia rematch coming up in the semis. In the 4A bracket North, it was Aniana big over Deschler, 62-21. Cherokee County beats Randolph 35-21, so we'll get Aniana and Cherokee County in the semifinals in the 4A bracket. Scores on the Fours is brought to you by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles, a 90-year-old family recipe. Check them out in a store near you. We'll start our live guest coverage of games around the state. Corey LeBounty joins us next. We'll talk Theodore and St. Paul's coming up.
No monthly payments until springtime at Glenn Smith in Opelika. How about a brand new Chevrolet Buick or GMC with no payments till springtime? New Chevy Equinox as low as $359 a month. New Buick Enclaves up to $4,000 off. New GMC Terrains up to $5,000 off.
We have over 200 new and used vehicles on the lot or on the way at Glenn Smith and Opelika. Get ready to smile.
Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC, 205-229-0234. Call owner Eric McKenzie now to get your free quote now. 205-229-0234. Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto. Central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
The Alex City Parks and Rec Department serves the residents of Alexander City with quality facilities and programs designed to positively affect the lives of the citizens. From youth sports programs to adult activities and our senior center, the Alex City Parks and Rec offers services for all ages. The Cooper Rec Center, Lake Winds Golf Course, and the Senior Activity Center are just some of the great features the Alex City Parks and Rec Department provides for the people of Alex City. For more information on any of our programs, call 256-329-6736.
So, you finally got the boat, ATV, or side-by-side of your dreams, huh? But make it yours with marine-grade audio that'll provide crisp, high-quality sound that's loud enough to be heard, whether you're cruising on the lake or hitting a mud hole. Come see Steve at the Car Stereo Shop in Auburn, so you'll be ready to crank up the volume. Whoa, but wait, you don't have to pull out of the water and trailer it to Auburn. The Car Stereo Shop can handle all of your work at any one of the Lake Martin marinas.
Hi, I'm Scott Blake.
I'm Angie Richardson, and we are the loan team here at Movement Mortgage.
Whether you're a first-time home buyer or you've gone through the process before,
our mission is to help you move forward with the purchase of your future plans. Call me at 256-397-2771.
or call me at 256-794-1003.
Scott Blake, NMLS number 527945. Angie Richardson, NMLS number 216556. Movement Mortgage supports equal housing opportunity, NMLS number 39179. For licensing information, please visit NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC, 205-229-0234. Call owner Eric McKenzie now to get your free quote now. 205-229-0234. Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. JJ and Andy with you as we start our live looks at games around the state of Alabama. Our first guest tonight with the MCPSS TV as well as the AHSAA Radio Network, Corey LeBounty joins us. He was at Theodore and St. Paul's. Corey, Theodore gets to win 28-0. And this team has been, maybe doesn't get the credit for how dominant they've been all year, but they just keep rolling.
I agree with you right there, 100% correct in that assessment. The number one ranked team at the end of the polls for the Alabama Sports Writers Association, comes in here in the third round of the playoffs and defeats St. Paul's 28-0. And what is more impressive is Theodore's starting running back, Braden Jenkins, who has rushed for almost 2,000 yards this season, did not play tonight. And instead, the defensive back, now / running back, Will James, who really hurt his collarbone in the first week of the season in week 0 and was out until the Saraland game about 3 weeks ago, he starts at running back tonight. And on the first play of the game, Will James had a 67-yard touchdown run. He starts at corner for the Theodore Bobcats, but with his blazing speed, he went untouched, 67 yards, and it set the tempo for the game. 7-0, Theodore goes up. 2 touchdowns later, Will James puts the Bobcats up 21-0. He had a 67-yard touchdown, a 13-yard touchdown, as well as a 62-yard touchdown on the game. Will James with phenomenal effort tonight, led by that huge mammoth offensive line for the Theodore Bobcats. And again, a 51-yard touchdown pass for the Theodore Bobcats to the wide receiver that has committed to Vanderbilt University. So Theodore's not just one-dimensional. Cam Johnson scored that 51-yard receiving touchdowns for the Theodore Bobcats. And it's another win for Eric Collier. They continue to make history as they were 12-0 for the first time in school history. Now they are 13-0, and we'll see the Saraland Spartans in the semifinal game, which will be the second time this year these two teams will tangle.
Yeah, obviously Theodore been so dominant all year long. Got to feel like they have a lot of momentum moving forward. What's the matchup look like with Saraland? What are we looking for as far as strengths and weaknesses?
Well, Saraland Spartan strength starts with number 1, Ryan Hollywood Williams. This young man is an explosive, electric, and only a sophomore who is already verbally committed to the University of Alabama. This young man had 6 touchdowns a week ago against a stingy Hillcrest defense, and really showed this week again, probably scored another 4 or 5 touchdowns tonight against Homewood. He's only a sophomore wide receiver, but can return punts. They put him in the backfield. He can run the ball as well. His speed is unbelievable. You can ask anybody any opponent he's played this year, if you've seen him on film, he just runs away from defenses. So that's Saraland's strength. Their weakness is the fact that they give up a lot of points defensively. The first time that these two teams played, Saraland only had 6 total rushing yards. And you're not going to win and advance to the state championship game with only 6 total rushing yards. So that is Saraland's strength. Theodore's strength is run, and you guessed it, run some more. And that's exactly what Eric Collier's philosophy has been. And if you put 8 or 9 in the box, they have a 6'5" wide receiver that's committed to Vanderbilt that can go and high point the football. They have another slot wide receiver that's very fast. So Theodore, they're not one-dimensional, even though their strength is run the football.
Corey, listen, it's a fabulous game tonight. It's going to be an unbelievable matchup next week. Thank you so much for the time, and we'll see you at the Super 7, my friend.
Everybody have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Looking forward to it. We'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, Corey LeBounty joining us, Mobile City Public Schools System TV, as well as the AHSAA Radio Network. He'll be on our broadcast from Jordan-Hare for the Super 7 coming up. Once again, Theodore over St. Paul's tonight, 28-0. Scores on the 4 now brought to you by Wickedly Delicious, Wickles, Pickles, Andy, the 3A bracket.
3A South, you got St. James defeating Thomasville tonight, 40-15. Mobile Christian over Pike County, 27-7. So you'll have a St. James Mobile Christian matchup in the 3A South bracket. In the 3A North, it was Geraldine over Sylvania, 27-7. And Piedmont got the best of Gordo, 27-14. So Geraldine and Piedmont in the 3A North bracket.
In the 2A bracket, it was Reeltown going on the road to Sylacauga to take on B.B. Comer. B.B. Comer gets the win 28-22 in a very entertaining game there. Highland Home shuts out Clark County 19-0. So we'll get Highland Home and BB Comer next week in the 2A semifinals. In the North bracket, the Fife Red Devils, they have this thing they do where they just win games all the time, right? They did that again tonight. 35-7 over Tuscaloosa Academy. So Fife moves on to the semifinals. They'll take on Pisgah. Again, another entertaining game. 26-22. Pisgah gets the win over Aliceville. So you've got BB Comer and Highland Home in the South and Fife and Pisgah in the North in 2A. Scores on the Fours is brought to you by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles with a 90-year-old family recipe available in a store near you. We'll talk about one of those 2A games, Reeltown and BB Comer. That's coming up next here on the AHSAA Radio Network.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Hey, it's Brett Pritchard, and I'm here to tell you all about Sims Foods, who you know better as Wickles Pickles. Wickles Pickles, that 90-year-old recipe, wickedly delicious. Relish, okra, and pickles. From Saturday sandwiches, tailgate snacks, to holiday dinners with your family and friends. From their family to yours, Wickles Pickles, those wickedly delicious pickles.
Wickles Pickles, wickedly delicious pickles.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
Hello, my name is Dave Milton with Southeastern Land Group. I'd like to tell you a little bit about our company. We sell farmland and timberland in Alabama and the surrounding states. Not only do we have a land sales division, but we also have a timber sales division where we can help you with your timber sales and your timber appraisal. There's 22 of us in our group scattered throughout the southeastern United States. We are a full-service land and timber sales company. We do with farmland, timberland, cattle property, poultry farms. 866-751-LAND. Go to the website, selandgroup.com.
Here in Alabama, we love our families, our state, and we love our country. At Charleston Gas Lanterns, we use nothing but the finest materials and the purest copper. Everything we use to make our handcrafted gas and electric copper lanterns is sourced in the USA, and each lantern is built right here in Mobile. Make your home or business stand out. Located at 1800 East Service Road, I-65, set an appointment to come by 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, the building with the large lantern on top. Or give us a call, 251-478-0072. Charleston Gas Lanterns, where being number one is not just a tradition, it's a way of life.
I wish that people got less excited about celebrities and more excited about people like teachers and firemen. You know, folks who make a difference every day. Well, I bet you had a favorite teacher or a family member who was helped by a first responder. Life Insurance offers these everyday heroes a little something extra, like discounts to help those who help others.
If you're a teacher, preacher, first responder, active military, a state or federal employee, see what Alpha can do for you.
Alabama Power first generated hydro energy in 1914 at Lay Dam, harnessing the power of water to bring electricity to our state. Today, more than a century later, Lay Dam is one of 14 Alabama Power hydro plants that provides Alabamians clean, reliable, affordable energy with zero emissions. And it's one more way we're helping elevate Alabama.
The taste of the South starts out here. However you roll into work, you can bring the flavor with Jack's Breakfast Catering. Huge scratch-made buttermilk biscuits and hearty breakfast sandwiches, mixed or matched, starting at just $15. Don't forget to add delicious fresh ground Royal Cup coffee and classic breakfast sides. Because great work starts with great breakfast. Breakfast catering starting at $15 from Jack's. All about the South.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network. JJ and Andy with you as we go back to the Southeastern Land Group Hotline. We're going to welcome in Fred Randall, Huey, WACQ in Tallahassee, Alabama, home base for the Reeltown Rebels, who went on the road to B.B. Comer tonight. B.B. Comer gets the win 28-22. Fred Randall, this was a great game, really through the whole four quarters. Didn't look like either team could get any separation of any kind.
Yeah, that's true. It was very close, tied 14-14 at the half. In the first half, both teams had long multi-play drives, and we go in at halftime tied 14-14. B.B. Comer got the second half kickoff, drove it down, and went up 20-14. Reeltown, gets it back, drive down, and they're about to score. They're inside the 1 yard line, and B.B. Comer held them inside the 1 yard line, but then Reeltown gets a safety 2 plays later, and it's 20-16, and then Reeltown takes it and scores again to make it 22-20, and looked like Reeltown was going to take it. It really did. Midway through the fourth quarter, they had B.B. Comer backed up. The center snap sails over the quarterback's head. It rolls back, around the 20-yard line, and about 3 Rebels had a shot at it, but the quarterback, Harvey, who is a fantastic athlete. I mean, he just kind of reaches out and pulls the fumble back in to himself. If Reeltown gets the ball down there at the 20-yard line with, midway through the quarter, they probably put it away. But then it's 3rd and 28, I think, from the 24-yard line, JJ. And the play of the game was Harvey, that outstanding quarterback. He throws a pass to Harris, the outstanding running back, coming out of the backfield, and he outruns our linebacker and catches the pass, and they get the first down on 3rd and 28. If they don't make that first down, the game's probably over. Reeltown probably wins it 22-20 because they would have had the ball back. They take it down and score with about 3 minutes left. B.B. Comer does, and go up 28-22. But Reeltown with 3 minutes left, they've still got a shot. They get out to midfield. They send a little unused 10th grade tight end, Demetrius Brown, on a one-man pattern down the middle, and he's open. He breaks and got behind the secondary. But I think Reeltown's quarterback, Jake Hornsby, I think he was, under enough pressure that he just didn't get enough on the ball. And B.B. Comer intercepts it. And from there on out, they run the clock out. They go down on a knee about 3 times. And B.B. Comer takes it 28-22. Disappointing. But just to show you how even this game was, total offense for B.B. Comer, 292 yards. Total offense for Reeltown, 292 yards. And it just came down to that last drive for B.B. Comer. You got to give them credit for making the big play that eventually turned out to be the winner.
No question. Fred Randall, Huey joining us, WACQ in Tallahassee, Alabama. Fred, unfortunately, we're out of time. Listen, congratulations to Reeltown on a great season, and have a great Thanksgiving.
All right. Thank you, JJ. Y'all do a great job. See you next year.
All right. Appreciate it. Once again, 28-22, B.B. Comer over Reeltown tonight in just a great game up there in Sylacauga. And thanks to Fred Randall and all the folks at WACQ for all the things that they do. Like he said, it's one of those games, man. You get that one play, 3rd and 28.
I remember having a conversation with him.
Yeah.
Way back early in the season, he's talking about Reeltown going back to their roots, going to the triple option.
That's right.
Wise decision.
That's right. It worked out well. Let's go to Scores on the Fours now. It's brought to you by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles. Andy, take the 1A bracket if you would.
About the 1A South, you got Milry destroying Sweetwater, 41-6. You got Leroy over Brantley, 42-14. So Milry and Leroy in the 1A South bracket. In the 1A North, it was Pickens County defeating Marion County, 40-14. And how about Coosa Christian taking down Lynn, 46-29. So Pickens County and Coosa Christian in the 1A North bracket.
All right. And the AHSAA, the Alabama Independent School Association, they played their 3 championship games at Montgomery's Crampton Bowl yesterday. Here's how they came out. In Class 1A, it was Lowndes Academy beating Jackson Academy 24-8. Lowndes wins its 4th championship, but it's the first back-to-back titles in the history of the program. Second game yesterday, Patrician Academy defeats Clark Prep 60-0 behind 533 yards rushing in that game. And in the Class 3A game at the nightcap last night, Lee Scott Academy defeats Glenwood 35-21 with a decisive play to go up 2 scores and holding off Glenwood to win the 3A championship game. So congratulations, Lee Scott, Patrician, and Lowndes, your AHSAA state champions. Scores on the 4s is brought to you by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles. We'll talk Hoover and Thompson coming up next.
Brew Baker, it's a brand new day. Go, Brew Baker, go. So come on down and drive away. Go, Brew Baker, go. From our dealership to your driveway. Go, Brew Baker, go. Brew Baker's gonna make your day.
Save some time and shop online anytime at brewbaker.com.
It's better at brewbaker.com.
Finding a job might be tough, but starting your new career has never been easier. Wellborn Cabinet in Ashland has a wide array of career opportunities with benefits. General labor production, skilled cabinet builders, product assembly line, shipping, over-the-road truck drivers, clerical, marketing, security, daycare, office clerks, and so much more. Apply in person, 38669 Highway 77 South in Ashland, or online at wellborn.com. Building cabinets, building careers, and building our community.
I'm Jimmy Goree with Goree's Furniture. We would like to invite you to come shop our huge selection of furniture. But if you don't have time, we have over 2,000 items you can have shipped directly to your home. Go to goreesfurniture.com, look for 48-hour quick ship. Shop, click, ship, it's just that easy. You can shop us here, or you can shop us online, only at Goree's Furniture.
Your express way to saving.
SCAG, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that SCAG means productivity and reliability. Every SCAG mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. SCAG.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
Have you stopped by Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store lately? If you haven't, you should. You'll find great pieces for your favorite do-it-yourself project. Lightly used name brand clothing by Free People, North Face, Matilda Jane, Patagonia, and a whole lot more. And while you're there, don't miss the shoes, decorative pieces, classic and new books, and Auburn and Alabama gear that won't cost you a fortune. So stop and shop at Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store today for a unique thrift experience that won't break the budget. Lifesavers Mission Thrift, located on East University behind Zaxby's.
Have you met your local Farmers Insurance agent, Patrick Holina? He proudly serves Tallapoosa County and Alexander City families and businesses and is ready to review your existing policies or provide a no-obligation quote today. Call the Holina Agency at 256-234-0037 or stop in today at 704 Commerce Drive to get smarter about your insurance. Again, that's the Holina Agency, 256-234-0037.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. As we go back now to the Southeastern Land Group Hotline, we're going to talk to our buddy Jeff Lloyd with the Hoover Bucks and FHS Network, where he had Hoover and Thompson tonight. Thompson gets the win 40-10. Now, Jeff, I talked to probably half a dozen people around the state this week about this game. Not one person would commit to either team scoring as many as 30. But Thompson really kind of got rolling there in the first half, goes up 24-0 on Hoover. It just kind of snowballed.
Yeah, I would have said that game was a pick'em, to be honest with you. Didn't know which way it was going to go the first time they played. Hoover shut out Thompson 9-0, and you would have thought it probably would have been. I thought it would have been somewhere in the teens. I didn't think it would be even into the 20s, but they jumped out, as you said, 24-0, led 24-0 at halftime. I will say this though, that they've got 16 points off the Hoover offense. 2 pick sixes and a safety. So, the defense did a great job on the very first defensive stance they had. Thompson won the coin toss, deferred to the second half. They kicked off to Hoover. Hoover threw an interception, and then Hoover's defense was able to keep them out of the end zone and force them to kick a field goal. So 3-0, you didn't feel too badly about it as they took over the ball at the Hoover 40. But after that, it just started rolling downhill, and Hoover just did not play well. They fumbled a punt. They had 2 interceptions, and penalties were also a factor in this ball game. And the fact is that Thompson finished drives, which they didn't do the first time that they played Hoover. In fact, they had, I think, 3 fourth down plays that they didn't convert against Hoover the first time. They never had to convert a fourth down play this time. So, and I think really the star of the game is their middle linebacker, who really just changes the offense. Hoover could not get anything going up the middle, running the game, the ball. I think they had 12 yards gross yardage at halftime and only 5 net yards. So it was a tough sledding night for the Bucs.
And this game notwithstanding, obviously, it was a tremendous year for Hoover in a new era of Hoover Buck football. So how would you classify this team? Were they upperclassmen heavy? Are they lowerclassmen?
Yeah, they're heavy on the defensive side with seniors. They're going to lose a lot of great players, and that was the strength of this team. The offense was slow going. They had a tough time this year. I would say the quarterback spot, the cupboard was kind of empty. They didn't have any experienced quarterbacks coming back, and then they had 4 starting quarterbacks this year, and they ended up ending the season with a freshman quarterback starting the game, and so they'll get better. They're going to have to plug some spots in. If there's a talented JV team that's coming, but they're going to lose a lot of very good senior defensive players, particularly in the secondary.
And, of course, they'll be looking, I'm sure, we expect the Hoover Bucks to have offense, so I would expect that offense, kind of getting the offense right, will be a key in the offseason, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, and they got better as the season went on. It was a new coaching staff. Everybody was new except for one coach. That was the tight ends coach, who was the only leftover from the previous staff. So that was different. And then finding out who could do what and where you fit in and so on and so forth. So for the first-year coach, he lost the first game to Auburn. I was talking to him on his coach's show Tuesday night, and he said, you realize that you're 3 points away from being undefeated. And he said, yeah, I realized that.
Yeah.
But, he won 11 games in a row and did that with 4 different quarterbacks. So I think he did a heck of a job and had to plug some holes along the way. And I'm really excited about working with Wade Walter because I think he's a great human being, for one thing, and he's a very good coach.
Jeff Lloyd with us, Hoover Bucks Network. Jeff, thank you so much for the time this season, and best of luck to you in the future, my friend.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right. Jeff Lloyd, they had the best play-by-play voice in the state.
He's got a Harry Callis type.
Doesn't he? All right, Scores on the Fours is brought to you by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles. Speaking of Hoover and Thompson, let's run back through those 7A brackets. The championship game is set.
It is. It will be Central Phoenix City and it won't be Central Phoenix. It'll be Auburn and Thompson because Auburn defeated Central Phoenix City, went to Central Phoenix City and won that game 14-13. And as we just talked to, Thompson defeated Hoover 10 in a really lopsided game. Not what we were expecting, but nonetheless. And I mentioned this is a kind of a rematch of that 2020 classic 7A championship game where Auburn thought they had it won. Thompson thought they had it lost, and lo and behold, Thompson wins the game.
It's going to be. I got a feeling it's going to be a great one. In the 6A South bracket, it was Saraland holding off Homewood. Homewood outscored Saraland 29-6 in the last 5 minutes of that game to tie it up, go to overtime tied at 50. Saraland scores, goes up 57-50. Homewood scores, goes for 2 in the win, gets stopped inside the 1. So 57-56, Saraland wins. They'll play Theodore next week in a great game. Theodore defeats St. Paul's 28-0. In the North bracket, it was Mountain Brook over Hartselle, 49-30, and Muscle Shoals over Gardendale, 38-7. So next week, we'll get Saraland and Theodore in the South. We'll get Mountain Brook and Muscle Shoals in the North in the 6A semifinals. Scores on the Fours brought to you by Wickedly Delicious, Wickles Pickles. We'll talk Gulf Shores and Faith up next.
Take an E. Let's go over this again. Who starts off with a real Coke taste? Coca-Cola! And then Coca-Cola pitches the real Coke taste to who? Coca-Cola! How is Coca-Cola going to give real Coke taste to itself? Take a lap, genius! Coca-Cola takes a snap and then pitches the real Coke taste to Coke Zero running up on the right. You got it? Yeah! At that point, we fake punt the real Coke taste. Who fakes the punt? Coke Zero Cola. Take a lap! Coke Zero. Real Coke taste. 0 calories.
Information is just a click away. At AOTourism.com, find out what many a publication deem as one of the best places to live, to work, and even raise a family. And yes, even retire right here in Auburn and Opelika. You can explore what the area has to offer with their world-class hotels and restaurants. As for recreation, well, the possibilities are endless. You can even check out available meeting space. Eat, stay, explore, play, meet, and visit AOTourism.com.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Not long ago, when you or your family needed medical care, your options for treatments were limited. You could wait a week before seeing a doctor or shell out hundreds of dollars for an emergency room visit. At Main Street Family Care, we are committed to helping you heal better and feel better fast. Main Street Family Care works hard to make sure you don't have to leave town to take care of your health. Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Hello, my name is Dave Milton with Southeastern Land Group. I'd like to tell you a little bit about our company. We sell farmland and timberland in Alabama and the surrounding states. Not only do we have a land sales division, but we also have a timber sales division where we can help you with your timber sales and your timber appraisals. There's 22 of us in our group scattered throughout the southeastern United States. We are a full-service land and timber sales company. We do with farmland, timberland, cattle property, poultry farms. 866-751-LAND. Go to the website, selandgroup.com.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumber yard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. JJ and Andy with you as we explore games around the state tonight. What a great night of football, and we saw some really great endings across the state tonight. One of those tonight, very competitive game, fun game down in South Alabama as Gulf Shores takes on Faith Academy. And Mark Swally joins us now from Sunny 105 at Gulf Shores. Mark, you got to tell me, because it was 14-12, Gulf Shores leading, and I saw that online, and then I tried to get over and listen, catch the end of the game, and by the time I got there, Faith Academy had won the game 20-14. Tell us about the end of that game.
Well, in the second half, on the Dolphins' second possession, they punted, and it was a 50-yard punt return for a touchdown. And that was really the biggest difference in the game. After that, of course, Faith got their ground game going and was able to just grind out the game and put up the extra points to keep the Dolphins from getting the ball and to get the score up. So it was a great game. Both sides just played their hearts out, and it was a lot of fun to watch.
If I'm not mistaken, these two teams played way back in September, early September, and Gulf Shores got the best of Faith Academy. So what was the difference in this game?
Well, I think that the biggest difference was Faith was able to shut down the Dolphin passing game, and that they were able to stack the box up and prevent the run. But that was the biggest difference, I would say.
Coach Mark Hudspeth and the Gulf Shores Dolphins, of course, made a lot of strides this year. What does this team look like coming back for next year? Are they upperclassmen heavy? Are they underclassmen heavy? How do they look?
Actually, this was a fairly balanced team. We're not losing that many seniors. We're going to lose our quarterback, but we'll keep Ron Royal and J.R. Gardner, of course, our running backs. Really, the biggest hole to fill will be the quarterback spot, but defense will be returning for the most part, and most of the offense as well. So expect this team to do that next year.
It's going to be fun to watch as this program continues to grow down in Gulf Shores. Mark Swally joining us, Sunny 105 in Gulf Shores. Mark, thank you so much for the time this year. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, my friend.
All right, you too. Go Dolphins.
There you go. Mark Swally joining us there. Gulf Shores, again, this is a program several years ago really started investing in the football program. New facilities, new coaching staff with a lot of college coaches down there. Mark Hudspeth, of course, been around college football a long time, been an assistant at Mississippi State, other places, been a head coach at the college level. So,
big-time game for them to come up last week all the way up to Clay County.
That's right.
And win that game. That was I thought that was a huge stepping stone for this team.
Well, I talked to Mark yesterday, when we were kind of prepping for this, and he said then, he said, man, they're tough to beat up at Ashland. It's just hard to go up there and get a win. But like he said, Ronnie Royal coming back next year will be possibly the premier running back in the state next year as we get into it. So they're going to be a program that's fun to watch. But again, tonight, Faith Academy gets the best of it, as he said, on a punt return, 20-14. We've seen that a couple of times tonight.
When you're at home and you hate to, these are the kind of games you really look back on and say, man, we had an opportunity there. But maybe they use that for motivation. They come back even better next year.
Yeah, well, no doubt. I think and it sets up a really fun bracket in there, too, as we go into the semifinals, which you're going to get to here in just a minute. So either way, thanks to Mark and his team there at Sunny 105 for all their great coverage this year. And all of our guests come to you on the Southeastern Land Group hotline, presented by Southeastern Land Group. Whether you're buying or selling rural land in the Southeast, Southeastern Land Group is the place to start. Visit selandgroup.com. Coming up here in just a few minutes, we're going to talk to James Verrett, play-by-play for the AHSAA TV network, WOTM TV Game of the Week, which this week was about as good as it gets. We watched a lot of Auburn and Central Phoenix City. Auburn scores late in that game with a couple of minutes left to get the win, 14-13. Defense holds on. Got a couple of pass interference calls down there?
Yeah, and this is one of those we thought might be a higher scoring game, and it was a low scoring
game. Well, yeah,
so.
Now if you told me Hoover and Thompson was 14-13, I'm buying that, right?
I'm starting to believe there's something to that. It's hard to beat a team twice in a year, too, because Faith Academy comes back, beats Gulf Shores. Thompson comes back, beats Hoover. Auburn comes back, beats Central Phoenix City. So there must whoever came up with that knew what they were talking about.
That's absolutely right. So we'll talk about that game in some detail coming up here in just a few minutes. Right now, it is time for another edition of Scores on the Fours, brought to you by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles. Andy, how about those 5A brackets?
I got them right here. Faith Academy defeated Gulf Shores 20-14. We were just talking about that game. On Thursday night, it was Charles Henderson taking out UMS Wright and Terry Curtis, who just broke the record for the all-time
Pretty big
wins.
upset there. That's the number one team in the classification.
Charles Henderson, 19-16. So Charles Henderson and Faith Academy will get together for the 5A South. The 5A North, it was Pleasant Grove defeating Arab in a really terrific game, 41-38. That one ended in overtime as well, and Ramsey defeated Leeds 27-19. So Pleasant Grove and Ramsey in the 5A North.
In the 4A bracket on the south side, a classic game with Andalusia and Anniston. Anniston goes up in this game 21-0. Andalusia fights back to tie it at 21. Anniston scores to make it 28-21. It looks like they're going to pull it out, but then they can't hold Andalusia at the end. They tie it at 28. Andalusia gets a stop. Anniston punts. Andalusia returns the punt for a touchdown with 23 seconds left. What a game. Andalusia wins 35-28. Montgomery Catholic holds off Hanley 21-14, so we'll get the Montgomery Catholic Andalusia rematch next week. We'll test that tough to beat a team twice theory, right? 4A bracket North, Aniana was all over Deschler 62-21, and Cherokee County over Randolph 35-21. So in the 4A bracket North, you've got Aniana and Cherokee County. 4A bracket South, Andalusia and Montgomery Catholic. That is Scores on the Fours, brought to you by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles. We'll come back, talk to James Verrett next on the AHSAA Radio Network.
Kia of Auburn is excited it's November, and we have a lot to be thankful for. Our inventory is growing daily, so you have a lot to choose from. The new 2023 Kia Telluride is now on our lot. The 2023 Kia Telluride has that head-turning wow factor with its bold good looks and equipped with a long list of standard features. Shop us in person at 1687 South College or anytime online at KiaofAuburn.com. Kia of Auburn, where you are always number one.
Hey guys, this is Tyler Reynolds from Reynolds Outdoors. The seasons change and so do our product offerings. We are happy to announce that we are now a full-line archery dealer with popular brand names like Matthews, Bowtech, PSE, and a full line of accessories to go with them. We still have our great selection of firearms, ammo, apparel, and more to get you ready for the season. And did you know we have the biggest selection of box blinds in Alabama? We have everything you need for a successful fall in the woods. Y'all come see us at Reynolds Outdoors on Geneva Street in Opelika or check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Looking for an attorney you can trust for your real estate closings? Wisdom Law Firm at Lake Martin has you covered. Your real estate transactions are fast, convenient, and professional every step of the way. Wisdom Law is certified and licensed by the American Land and Title Association and approved by all local lenders. Visit Wisdom Law Firm at 6366 Highway 49 in Dadeville or at their Auburn location at 2353 Bent Creek Road. No communication concerning a lawyer's legal services shall be published or broadcast unless it contains the following language, which shall be clearly legible or audible as the case may be. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dadeville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
Dadeville is home to Lake Martin Community Hospital and Lake Martin Family Medicine, both a division of Ivy Creek Healthcare, with great physicians, nurse practitioners, and nurses who provide extraordinary, compassionate care for Dadeville and surrounding Lake Martin areas. Medicaid, Medicare, and most private insurances are welcome. For your home health and hospice needs, you may also use Ivy Creek Home Health and Ivy Creek Hospice. Ivy Creek, always providing quality care in the communities our patients call home.
Hey, this is Doug Roberts, long-term resident of Alexander City. I sold my house with Century 21 Lake Area Realty because all my life I had heard that to sell a house you need three things: location, location, location. I found out there's actually four. You need location, 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 and Rhonda Gaskins at Century 21 Lake Area Realty to sell your house fast.
Call me today and let me go to work for you. 256-749-3644.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network. As we go now back to the Southeastern Land Group hotline, we're going to talk to James Verrett, play-by-play voice for the AHSAA TV Network WOTM TV Game of the Week, which this week was the 7A South semifinal, Central Phoenix City and Auburn in Phoenix City tonight. Auburn gets the win 14-13. You know, James, and doing this show, I don't get to call games much anymore, but you always hope that you're going to get a good game, tight game with some late drama, and you guys certainly got that in Phoenix City tonight.
No doubt about it. Both teams definitely left it all out on the field, and it was a surprising game because defense really led the way for both teams, and you got to credit Auburn for a clinic, a master class on pinpoint pressure. They really chose the right time to apply pressure, and it really showed up in the final score. And actually, even though the fourth quarter was very, very exciting, the defense won the game in the first half by holding a very talented Central Phoenix squad to 2 field goals in the first half.
Never like, I mean, look, I don't want to focus on penalties, but clearly, you know, one penalty had an enormous effect on this game. It seemed like Phoenix City, their defense was in control, kept Auburn from moving the ball, but late in that last drive, it was like 3rd and 18, if I remember right, and you get a pass interference, and that seemed to ignite Auburn, and they go right down the field and score.
No doubt about it. The penalties, but it really, the tone was set early in the game because Central Phoenix City was driving, and they were able to get a big first down, I think, inside the 40-yard line of Auburn, and they had a penalty due to one of the officials tripping over a person on the Central Phoenix sideline.
Oh.
You could see Patrick Nix telling the official, look, I don't even know who that guy is. Still a sideline violation against Central Phoenix City. So I think that the Red Devils should have known that the tone was being set, that those calls, it was going to be a tightly called game. And definitely that penalty that you were speaking of really changed the momentum of the game. It got Auburn fired up. But that defense, I'm going to tell you, we thought that it was going to be a done deal because Central got the lead. It was 13-7, and their defense was playing lights out. But you had to remember that with Epps leaving the game, going back and forth due to injuries and losing his helmet, they could not get the offensive momentum. And as soon as the fourth quarter hit, you started to see the pressure applied by the Tigers, and that pressure is what finally got them over the top.
Yeah, watching that last possession there by Central Phoenix City, they couldn't seem to find an open receiver. Auburn just had everybody locked down.
No doubt about it, and it was actually the exact opposite of what they were doing in the half. The first half, they were really playing back, allowing Central Phoenix City to drive from 20 to 20, and then they would clamp down inside the 20, and that's how they were forcing those field goals. But once they got to the fourth quarter, I mean, they really flipped the script, and they applied that pressure, and their defensive backs played well enough to win.
Well, James, you've watched these teams. You've watched teams all across the state. We get a 7A final coming up here in I guess about 10, 11 days now, with Auburn and Thompson. Your initial thoughts?
Well, my initial thoughts are the people of Auburn, and I think the entire country have never forgotten what happened in 2020.
Yeah.
And for a lot of these young men, they were on the sideline in shock that they lost that game. So my initial thought is that it's going to be a roller coaster ride. Expect to see a lot of athletic play, but in the end, it will be the offense that can handle the pressure in the fourth quarter that will be able to win.
There you go. James Verrett, great job tonight. Great job all year, my friend. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
All right, happy Thanksgiving to you guys, and thanks again.
All right. So we've got it set now, Auburn, and I thought he was going to make a pick there, but he stopped short of that, right?
Yeah, whoever controls the fourth quarter.
Yes,
that's
the offense that can handle the fourth quarter. That's the one. Scores on the Fours is brought to you by Wickedly Delicious, Wickles, Pickles, Andy, back into 3A.
St. James defeated Thomasville 40-15, and it was Mobile Christian over Pike County 27-7. So you get Mobile Christian and St. James in the 3A South semifinals. In the 3A North, it was Geraldine over Sylvania 27-7, and it was Piedmont over Gordo 27-7. to 14. So Geraldine and Piedmont in the 3A North semifinal.
In the 2A bracket, two teams that I think were a little bit overlooked all year. They were both really good all year, and a little bit overlooked in my opinion. B.B. Comer and Reeltown matched up in Sylacauga tonight. Comer gets the win 28-22 in a great back-and-forth kind of game. And it was 14-14 at the half, and one of those games that could have gone either way. B.B. Comer gets the win 28-22. They'll move forward to face Highland Home, another team that's been rock solid all year. They get a 19-0 shutout over Clark County. So in the 2A bracket South, the semifinal is Highland Home and B.B. Comer. In the 2A bracket North, we'll get Fife. No surprise, they take care of Tuscaloosa Academy 35-7, and they will take on Pisgah, who defeated Aliceville, another tight game, 26-22. So the 2A North bracket is Fife and Pisgah. The 2A South, Highland Home and B.B. Comer. Scores on the Fours is brought to you by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles, with a 90-year-old family recipe available in a store near you. They're absolutely delicious. Make sure you try them out. Okay, coming up next, Jason Caldwell, Auburn 24/7 Sports. Has he seen the puff of white smoke? Who's the head coach? What's going to happen with Auburn and Western Kentucky? Oh, and we'll talk recruiting. It's our recruiting segment. It's up next.
Serving East Central Alabama since 2005, we are Coosa Valley Respiratory and Home Medical of Sylacauga. Coosa Valley Respiratory has medical equipment and supplies, including oxygen to home ventilation services. We carry a full line of bracing, power chairs, scooters, and more. And when you trust Coosa Valley Respiratory, you are dealing with local people that care about your well-being. Providing quality home care for our community, Coosa Valley Respiratory and Home Medical, 201 West Fort William, Sylacauga. Give us a call at 256-245-1411.
Hillaby Towers is an affordable senior citizens community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East. Spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed, and utilities are included. Call today to find out more information on Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552. That's Hillaby Towers in Alexander City.
SCAG, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that SCAG means productivity and reliability. Every SCAG mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. SCAG.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto. Central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
The all-new Triple R Cafe in Rockford is open and the place for true Southern-style cooking. Open Tuesday through Saturday in downtown Rockford on US 231. The Triple R Cafe serves up true Southern cooking with a meat and 3 for lunch. And on Friday and Saturday, get the best dinners in the area with fresh from the garden vegetables. Gulf-style scallops and shrimp, and Bayou-style alligator. Central Alabama's new place for Southern-style cooking with a down-home atmosphere. That's the all-new Triple R Cafe in downtown Rockford.
At Glenn Smith in Opelika, we're loaded with trucks, and more trucks. We have over 100 new Chevy and GM trucks on the ground and on the way. New Chevrolet Silverados up to $7,000 off. GMC Sierras up to $7,500 off. Are you ready for your new Chevy or GMC truck? We've got them with no payments till springtime at Glenn Smith in Opelika.
Shop online 24/7 at glennsmith.com. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. We've arrived at our recruiting segment, and joining us is Jason Caldwell, Auburn 24/7 Sports. And Jason, I know you went to Phoenix City tonight for Auburn and Central. And I got to imagine, as a guy who covers recruiting, that's got to be fun because you get to go see some of the top talent in the state on both sides going at it in a really great game.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great football game. It was. No mistakes. I don't think. Well, it was one turnover. Auburn threw an interception right before the half, but that was it. It was just a well-played football game on both sides. Got after it. Defense. The old school line of scrimmage game, and it was really good. Braden Joyner, Auburn O-line commitment, had a good game playing left tackle, and obviously, a lot of the game on the other side was Tamarian Parker, and Tamarian Parker showed every bit of why he's a 4-star pass rusher on the other side at Central Phoenix City. A.J. Harris, Georgia corner commitment, blocked a field goal early in the game for Central Phoenix City. Carmelo English made a ton of plays, and he had a 4th and 10 grab where he jumped up, and I'm guessing he probably would have easily been 11 feet. By the time he caught the ball, he was way up off the ground. And then Cam Coleman, young kid, 2024 wide receiver at Central, made some plays too. So, the guys showed up tonight, and Auburn just made a couple of more plays there at the end, and defensively they just really got after it on that side of the ball.
You mentioned Carmelo English. I remember that play that you're talking about. It was eye-popping to see him go up and catch that one. I think he caught a touchdown pass just a little bit later. But I know he was committed to Auburn for a while. He's backed off. Do you know where his commitment or his thinking process is right now?
Yeah, Kentucky was a school that was there early on, and he's looked at them on and off. I think he's supposed to visit Kentucky again this weekend, and so got Georgia coming up there for that big game. So it kind of feels like Kentucky is kind of the team at the moment. Don't know if Auburn is trying to get back in, They've gotten DeQuavius Story, and they've added some wide receivers to a room that's, only have one senior on. So kind of feels like that ship has sailed a little bit. So I would say Kentucky right now.
And as you watch a team like Auburn, now they move on, they're going to take on Thompson again. We all know what happened a couple of years ago. How much is that in Auburn's mind that we have to clean up the things we didn't clean up 2 years ago?
Yeah, I think it's really different team. That was a pretty explosive I'd say a little bit more explosive Auburn team, especially at quarterback. And now I'll tell you what, Clyde Pittman is a really good quarterback for Auburn High. They just don't have a ton of weapons outside of wide receiver, and they're really good Thompson front that you're going to face. The Auburn defense is going to have to play really well, and of course Thompson has an 8th grade quarterback on the other side, and I think that it's going to be for Auburn. It needs to be like it was tonight. It needs to be a 14-13, 14-10 kind of game. I don't think that's a game that Auburn's going to win if it gets into the 20s or 30s, and so defense and crowd. I mean, I don't know what the crowd's going to be like. Auburn has played in 2 state championship games. They've both been in Tuscaloosa. They got a home game now, and so we remember when Opelika played here, a while back, what the crowd was like. My guess is that it's going to be very similar. So you're talking about 35,000 people maybe at this game that could play into Auburn's hands as well.
Well, you cover Auburn. We might as well. I've seen some tweets tonight. Done deal with Lane Kiffin. Maybe we should all just rest and just say that he's going to be the next coach, right?
Yeah, I don't think there's any done deal until they walk up there or it's official. So no, I don't know if there's nothing done until it's done. I've learned that long ago in covering coaching searches. So I think I've said along. I think he's a guy that I would probably put as my favorite, and nothing's changed for me in that regard. But I don't think there's any ink dry on any paper just yet.
Jason Caldwell, Auburn 24/7 Sports. Thank you so much for the time this season and helping us out here, and have a wonderful Thanksgiving, okay?
Thanks, guys. Y'all too.
All right.
Thank you.
Jason joining us here from Auburn 24/7 Sports. And, with a player like Carmelo English, and like he said, feels like the ship has sailed. But until you get that new coach in, you don't know, because the new coach may go, no, that ship has not sailed. Back it up. We're back to port. Let's start over.
There's always surprises late.
There's always surprises. Let's go to Scores on the 4 is brought to you by Wickedly Delicious, Wickles Pickles, Andy, 1A.
1A, you had Milry defeating Sweetwater 41-6, and Leroy defeated Brantley 42-14. So you're going to have 2 real big powers colliding there in the 1A South bracket, Milry and Leroy. In the northern half of the bracket, you had Pickens County defeating Marion County 40-14, and it was Coosa Christian defeating Lynn 46-29. So Pickens County and Coosa Christian in the 1A bracket in the semifinals.
All right, in the AHSAA, Alabama Independent School Association, they played their 3 championship games yesterday. Here's how they came out at Crampton Bowl in Montgomery. In Class 1A, Lowndes Academy defeats Jackson Academy. And last year, Lowndes Academy beat Jackson Academy as well in the championship game. So it's back-to-back titles for Lowndes in the 1A championship game. In the middle of the day, it was Patrician Academy 60 and Clark Prep nothing in the Class 2A championship game. So Patrician defeats Clark Prep. And in the Class 3A game last night, Lee Scott Academy holds off Glenwood 35-21 to claim the 3A championship. So in 1A, Lowndes is your state champion. In Class 2A, Patrician Academy is your state champion. Class 3A, Lee Scott defeats Glenwood for the championship there. That is Scores on the Fours, brought to you by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles. We haven't picked our games of the week yet, but one of the games in contention is the one we're going to talk about next. You'll want to hear how this one ended. Coming up on the AHSAA Radio Network. It's time for another look at This Week in the AHSAA. News and notes from around Alabama high school athletics. Brought to you by Jacksonville State University. The AHSAA Super 7 football championships are set for Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn. The 7A championship game will take place at 7 p.m. on Wednesday night, November 30th. On Thursday, December 1st, we'll have the 3A game at 11 a.m., the 1A championship at 3 p.m., and the 5A title match at 7 p.m. On Friday, December 2nd, it's the 4A championship game, followed by the 2A game, and then the 6A game caps off the night. If your radio station would like to inquire about affiliation with the AHSAA Radio Network or to broadcast the Super 7 championships, visit AHSAARadioNetwork.com. That's This Week in the AHSAA. News and notes from around Alabama high school athletics. Brought to you by Jacksonville State University on the AHSAA Radio Network.
Hey, it's Brett Pritchard, and I'm here to tell you all about Sims Foods, who you know better as Wickles Pickles. Wickles Pickles, that 90-year-old recipe, wickedly delicious. Relish, okra, and pickles. From Saturday sandwiches, tailgate snacks, to holiday dinners with your family and friends. From their family to yours. Wickles Pickles, those wickedly delicious pickles.
Wickles Pickles, wickedly delicious pickles.
Main Street Family Urgent Care.
Not long ago, when you or your family needed medical care, your options for treatments were limited. You could wait a week before seeing a doctor or shell out hundreds of dollars for an emergency room visit. At Main Street Family Care, we are committed to helping you heal better and feel better fast. Main Street Family Care works hard to make sure you don't have to leave town to take care of your health.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Encore Sports Medicine.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. JJ and Andy with you as we now talk about one of our candidates for sure for Game of the Week. And that happened in the 4A bracket tonight where Andalusia goes on the road to take on Anniston. Anniston jumps out to a 21-0 lead. Andalusia rallies to tie it at 21. Anniston goes up 28-21. Andalusia rallies to tie it at 28, and we thought for all the world it was going to overtime. And then Blaine Wilson, WAAO from Andalusia, Alabama. Tell us what happened next.
Well, from there, there's 23 seconds left in the game. It's tied 28-28, and Andalusia holds and gets a punt return. Ty Cameron Jackson takes it to the house, takes it to the crib for a 47-yard touchdown score to put the Bulldogs of Andalusia on top 35-28 after a PAT from Cobb Stewart, the freshman. And it was just an incredible game. Andalusia down 21-0 at the half and really playing just absolutely flat going into halftime. Our coaches obviously talked some type of language to our guys at half and talked about grit and determination. They come out and just dominate and score 35 unanswered points in the second half with a big win over the Anniston Bulldogs. And Andalusia Bulldogs now get their wish. They get to go to Montgomery Catholic next week for a rematch, and it's going to be for the semifinals. And it's just a great South Class 4A football game tonight in Anniston, Alabama.
Yeah, I had two questions. What in the world was going on in the first half? And number two, how far did your heart jump into your throat on the kickoff return when it was tied 28-28, or did the flag come out early?
You know, 1:39 left in the fourth. Lathrop passed to K.D. Denson for 46-yard touchdown to tie the game at 28-28. Cobb Stewart's point after was good, but only after a 5-yard illegal motion penalty, which was an obvious design play. I don't know how the officials missed that, but we back them up 5 yards, and the PAT ties the game, thinking it would go to overtime. I mean, this was a classic game that these young men will live with for the rest of their life, knowing that they fought through adversity and came out on top on the road on a 4-hour drive and come out winning 35-28. It's just a really good high school football game.
Well, and pressure
just flat in the first half.
Pressure points throughout the game too. You mentioned the kicker for Andalusia gets that, had to have that extra point to tie the game up. Gets backed up 5 yards. Now it's a little bit longer. Look, in 4A football, extra points are not guaranteed, right? So there were points of pressure throughout the game that I thought both teams, and Andalusia in particular, just answered when they needed to.
You're right, and I got to tell you, Cobb Stewart, number 43 for Andalusia, is a freshman who came in to kick for us after our starting kicker goes down with an injury, Ethan Barton, and so Koya Barton, I'm sorry. And the freshman comes in, and he has been money, the PATs. We then bring in a member of our band to handle the place kicking, kickoffs, and he has done an incredible job. Kason Clark, also able to kick the deep ball on our field goal. So our kicking game has really come together in the second half, and it was all just after an injury to who we thought was our starter throughout the season, who went down with an injury.
Andalusia played Montgomery Catholic earlier this year. Montgomery Catholic got the best of that matchup. We know it's hard to beat a team twice, and I'm sure with Andalusia, because you and I talked about that game, Andalusia felt like they had moments to win that game and just couldn't pull it off earlier.
Yeah, Andalusia was winning that game at the half and was really dominating Montgomery Catholic. And in the second half, Catholic, makes a few adjustments. Andalusia doesn't adjust, and Catholic pulls out the win. But I got to tell you, this Andalusia Bulldog team did not want Handley to win tonight. That would have been a game at Andalusia between Andalusia and Handley. These Bulldogs of Andalusia wanted Catholic to win. They want to go to Montgomery Catholic, and they want an opportunity for that rematch in Montgomery next week.
It's going to be a really, really great game to pay attention to next week. Blaine, thank you so much for joining us now and all season. Best of luck to you next week, and enjoy your Thanksgiving, my friend.
JJ, I want to thank what y'all do for Alabama high school sports and your dedication to this program every Friday night. And thanks for letting WAAO be a part of it to support these student athletes.
Thank you, buddy. Have a good one. Blaine Wilson joining us from WAAO in Andalusia, one of our great affiliates. And, man, what a game. What a finish.
Absolutely.
That's as good as it gets. Scores on the Fours is brought to you by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles. Andy? Let's run through the brackets one more time. Let's get set up for the Super 7 and 7A.
Yeah, let's do it. 7A South. It was Auburn defeating Central Phoenix City 14-13 in a classic games. Auburn scoring very late in that one. to win it in the 7A North bracket. No problem for Thompson in the rematch with Hoover, 40-10. So the Thompson Warriors and the Auburn Tigers in a rematch from 2020 7A title game getting together again.
The 6A bracket on the south side, Saraland and Homewood. This was a crazy game. Saraland was up big at points in this game. Homewood outscores Saraland 29-6 in the final 4.5 minutes of play to force overtime. In overtime, Saraland goes up 57-50. Homewood scores, goes for 2 in the win. They get stopped inside the 1. Saraland advances 57-56 in overtime. Other side of the south bracket, Theodore, no problems with St. Paul's. They shut them out 28-0. So we'll get Theodore and Saraland next week. 6A bracket north, it was Mountain Brook over Hartselle, 49-30. I know Luke Robinson all year talking about that Mountain Brook team. They are now in the semifinals. They'll face Muscle Shoals, who went on the road and defeated Gardendale 38-7. So Muscle Shoals, Mountain Brook, Saraland, Theodore in the 6A semifinals next week. Scores on the Fours is brought to you by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles. Our spotlight interview. We continue our conversation from last week with AHSAA Executive Director Alvin Briggs. That's on the way next on the AHSAA Radio Network.
Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC, 205-229-0234. Call owner Eric McKenzie now to get your free quote now. 205-229-0234. Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC.
Hi, I'm Scott Blake.
I'm Angie Richardson, and we are the loan team here at Movement Mortgage.
Whether you're a first-time home buyer or you've gone through the process before,
our mission is to help you move forward with the purchase of your future plans. Call me at 256-397-2771.
or call me at 256-794-1003.
Scott Blake, NMLS number 527945. Angie Richardson, NMLS number 216556. Movement Mortgage supports equal housing opportunity, NMLS number 39179. For licensing information, please visit NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Lineville Health and Rehab in Lineville, Alabama has a staff and has had a staff of caring folks for years. If it has come that time in life for that person in your family to look at the possibility of going into a health and rehab facility, you have a choice. You have a choice to choose, and the fine folks at Lineville Health and Rehab would like to take this time to invite you by to meet them and them you. Caring folks that care for you and your family. You have a choice. The number to call is 256-396-2104.
Have you stopped by Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store lately? If you haven't, you should. You'll find great pieces for your favorite do-it-yourself project. Lightly used name brand clothing by Free People, North Face, Matilda Jane, Patagonia, and a whole lot more. And while you're there, don't miss the shoes, decorative pieces, classic and new books, and Auburn and Alabama gear that won't cost you a fortune. So stop and shop at Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store today for a unique thrift experience that won't break the budget. Lifesavers Mission Thrift, located on East University behind Zaxby's.
The Alex City Parks and Rec Department serves the residents of Alexander City with quality facilities and programs designed to positively affect the lives of the citizens. From youth sports programs to adult activities and our senior center, the Alex City Parks and Rec offers services for all ages. The Cooper Rec Center, Lake Winds Golf Course, and the Senior Activity Center are just some of the great features the Alex City Parks and Rec Department provides for the people of Alex City. For more information on any of our programs, call 256-329-6736.
At Brew Baker, it's a brand new day. Go, Brew Baker, go. So come on down and drive away. Go, Brew Baker, go. From our dealership to your driveway. Go, Brew Baker, go. Brew Baker's gonna make your day.
Save some time and shop online anytime at brewbaker.com.
It's better at brewbaker.com.
Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC, 205-229-0234. Call owner Eric McKenzie now to get your free quote now. 205-229-0234. Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC.
It's time now for our AHSAA Radio Network Spotlight interview. Brought to you by Southeastern Land Group. Whether you're buying or selling rural land in the Southeast, Southeastern Land Group is the place to start. Visit selandgroup.com. And joining us now is the Executive Director of the Alabama High School Athletic Association, Mr. Alvin Briggs. And Mr. Briggs, welcome back on the show. We talked to you at the beginning of the season. I trust you've had a marvelous football season like the rest of us have.
Well, the fall season has been great. Football, we finished up a volleyball championship a couple of weeks ago. We had a state cross-country meet last week. And, so it's an exciting time of the year. And we're in the midst of starting basketball and wrestling and indoor track. So it's just great. It's a great time of the year.
Yeah, it's a wonderful time with, as you mentioned, the cross-country and the volleyball championships going on, and now we move into football playoffs and headed into other sports as well. Talk a little bit about. I know it can be tough because you're only one person. You can't be everywhere, but I know you try to be at as many of these events as possible. Talk a little bit about trying to work everything into your schedule.
Well, the great thing about it, we have a great staff. And they do a marvelous job, and so they do, as well as me, do a great job of representing our member schools by being at all our championships. We are all our championships, and we try to go to as many playoff games as we can. We try to go to different parts of the state and see those games and see those great matchups. And it's a fun time of the year. I mean, if you love athletics and you love sports, this is what you enjoy doing, and seeing these championship events. So as hard as it may look, it's fairly easy. Again, I have a great staff, and this staff does a great job of getting out and enjoying great athletics.
For someone, if someone's out there who hasn't been to a Super 7 yet, it's really a lot of fun to watch. You get 7 championship games over 3 days, 7 days on Wednesday night. And you get 3 games a day on Thursday and Friday. We also have the flag football championship on Wednesday. There's a lot of coordination, a lot of planning to go into trying to put 8 championship football games on in 3 days.
It is, but it's logistically, it seems like it would be tremendous, and it is. It's a tremendous effort, and the staff does a great job. And again, without those cities of Auburn, Opelika, and the hundreds and hundreds of volunteers, it would be a logistical nightmare. But, the thing is just to get the 2 teams on the field that play at that time and let them have fun. And that's the great thing about it. And it's going to be the second year of our flag football tournament. And we're excited about that. The young ladies have been excited. It's been some exciting games. And that's going to be looking just like it's going to be coming down to the wire with all our tournaments that are finishing up with that. And so we're excited about it, and I think it's going to be a great time for all to come and share in Auburn.
Looking forward to getting down there and seeing you and your staff, Ron and everybody, and I know it's going to be a great time. And Director Briggs, thank you again for the time today. Congratulations on another great athletic season with the AHSAA, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the Super 7.
Jeremy, thank you, and I look forward to seeing you, and we will have a great time and look forward to coming up in the booth and having a conversation with you guys.
Absolutely. Alvin Briggs is with us, Executive Director of the Alabama High School Athletic Association, doing a great job, and we're getting ready for the Super 7 coming up here in just a couple of weeks. Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network, and thank you again to Executive Director Alvin Briggs for joining us on the Spotlight interview this week. Andy, the championship games were played at Old Legion Field forever, it seems like.
Right.
Then they moved them a few years ago, started alternating with Bryant Denny and Jordan Hare. And back at Jordan Hare this year. Now we've got Protective Stadium in that rotation as well. I think it's a fabulous deal for the kids that play in these games, and the kids in the band and the cheerleaders and the parents and the families to get to run out of those tunnels, right? I mean, either one. It doesn't matter who you're a fan of, right? You're running out of the tunnel in an SEC stadium in a championship game. That's as good as it gets.
Right? At one time, Legion Field was one of those, but that day is past.
That day is
past. And Tuscaloosa and Auburn, that's what it's all about.
It's a great thing, I think, for everybody. The AHSAA has done a wonderful job with the Super 7. Just kudos to them. All right, Andy, back into scores on the fours. Give us 5A, my man.
5A South Bracket. Faith Academy defeated Gulf Shores in a rematch from earlier this year. Faith Academy gets it done 20-14. On Thursday night, it was Charles Henderson in an upset going. UMS Wright had to go to Charles Henderson. Didn't work out too well. Henderson 19-16 over UMS Wright.
I was told earlier this week that Charles Henderson was very physical and was going to give UMS Wright a battle.
Well, they did at that. 5A North Bracket in a very, very good game. Pleasant Grove defeated Arab 41-38, and Ramsey defeated Leeds 27-19. So Pleasant Grove and Ramsey in the north, and Faith Academy and Charles Henderson in the south, 5A.
4A South, Andalusia returns a punt, 47 yards with 23 seconds to play to get a 35-28 win on the road at Anniston. They'll move on for a rematch with Montgomery Catholic, who held on against Hanley 21-14. So you get the Anniston-Montgomery Catholic rematch in the semis next week. 4A North, Aniana over Deschler 62-21. Cherokee County over Randolph 35-21. So it will be Aniana and Cherokee County in the 4A North semifinals. Scores on the fours brought to you by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles. We'll come back, talk about our games of the week here on the AHSAA Radio Network.
Hello, my name is Dave Milton with Southeastern Land Group. I'd like to tell you a little bit about our company. We sell farmland and timberland in Alabama and the surrounding states. Not only do we have a land sales division, but we also have a timber sales division where we can help you with your timber sales and your timber appraisals. There's 22 of us in our group scattered throughout the southeastern United States. We are a full-service land and timber sales company. We do with farmland, timberland, cattle property, poultry farms. 866-751-LAND. Go to the website, selandgroup.com.
Hey, it's Brett Pritchard, and I'm here to tell you all about Sims Foods, who you know better as Wickles Pickles. Wickles Pickles, that 90-year-old recipe, wickedly delicious. Relish, okra, and pickles. From Saturday sandwiches, tailgate snacks, to holiday dinners with your family and friends. From their family to yours, Wickles Pickles, those wickedly delicious pickles.
Wickles Pickles, wickedly delicious pickles.
Hi, John. You have messages.
Not now, phone. I'm driving.
You know you want to text your friends.
Texting and driving is illegal. No distractions, period. People die that way. Eating, putting on makeup.
Scroll through your music?
Nope.
Your girlfriend just texted. She's bored.
Sorry, not worth dying for.
Good call. She seems a little clingy.
Don't text your life goodbye. Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
Alabama Power first generated hydro energy in 1914 at Lay Dam, harnessing the power of water to bring electricity to our state. Today, more than a century later, Lay Dam is one of 14 Alabama Power hydro plants that provides Alabamians clean, reliable, affordable energy with zero emissions. And it's one more way we're helping elevate Alabama.
Main Street Family Urgent Care.
Not long ago, when you or your family needed medical care, your options for treatments were limited. You could wait a week before seeing a doctor or shell out hundreds of dollars for an emergency room visit. At Main Street Family Care, we are committed to helping you heal better and feel better fast. Main Street Family Care works hard to make sure you don't have to leave town to take care of your health.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
The taste of the South starts out here. However you roll into work, you can bring the flavor with Jack's Breakfast Catering. Huge scratch-made buttermilk biscuits and hearty breakfast sandwiches, mixed or matched, starting at just $15. Don't forget to add delicious fresh ground Royal Cup coffee and classic breakfast sides, because great work starts with great breakfast. Breakfast catering starting at $15 from Jack's. All about the South.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumber yard, price match promise, and our best rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. JJ and Andy with you, and it's time now for our Russell Do-It Center Games of the Week, brought to you by Russell Do-It Center, AHSAA Radio Network, built by Russell Do-It Center. Okay, 3 stand out to me, Andy.
Yep.
And first, I'm gonna go through this one. ARAB and Pleasant Grove. ARAB trailed by 14 at the half, 28-14. They rallied to tie the game at 28. And force overtime. Pleasant Grove scored first on a 5-yard touchdown run. ARAB answers, and Coach Lee Osment chooses to go for 2 and the win.
Right.
Gets a pass interference call and then decides to kick the extra point. Like you said, maybe they had that 1-2 point play and then, we burned it, let's kick, So they tied up. They force a second overtime. The second overtime, ARAB's Will Kinnear, they got the ball first, kicked a 21-yard field goal. Pleasant Grove answered with a game-winning touchdown. So, once again, the win goes to Pleasant Grove in just a great game there. Davis, the running back, had 18 carries, 144 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then a third touchdown in overtime. So, Derek Davis with a big night there.
I was not expecting. I've seen Pleasant Grove play. They're always super athletic.
Yeah.
And they've been around. They've been close to winning state titles here in the last several years. For ARAB to be in it, that probably a little bit surprising to me. So that one is definitely up there, and you could definitely see why that might be the game of the week.
A big win there for Pleasant Grove coach Darryl LeBeau and his squad. So I'll throw that one out there. What else you got?
Obviously you got to go. You got to put up there Andalusia and Anniston.
We thought it was going to overtime.
One of those classic. Yeah, literally as we went on the air, thought it was going to overtime. But so many things happened down the stretch of that game, and Anniston, was up big, obviously, but battle and that's the one thing we keep talking about, the comeback. Come back from 21 down, able to tie it, but then lose the lead, and you think, when we say that Anniston went up 28-21, it's not like there was 5 minutes to play. There was like 3 minutes to play, or 2 minutes to play. And, Andalusia goes right down the field and throws up a duck that is woefully short, but the guy comes back, catches it, and runs for about 20 yards for a touchdown. And then, craziness ensues. But that's just, if you were there, that's one of those you look back on 20 years ago. Yeah. 20 years from now and say, I was there at that game.
Yeah, remember that game where Andalusia returned the punt? All right, and then the third one, we got to recognize this as a game of the week, too. Homewood outscores Saraland 29-6 in the last 4.5 minutes of regulation.
There's got to be a turnover now. How could
multiple?
How is that possible?
29-6 in 4.5 minutes.
Something.
To tie the game at 50, Saraland scores to go at 57-50. Homewood answers with a touchdown, goes for 2 and the win at Saraland, and they get stopped. The quarterback gets stopped on a run inside the 1-yard line. Saraland holds on 57-56 in overtime. Pick any of those 3 you want and call it your Russell Do-It Center game of the week, because they were all that stinking good tonight. That's how good the football's been around the state of Alabama. Right now, we got to get to another edition of Scores on the Fours. It's brought to you by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles with a 90-year-old family recipe, and, of course, available in stores all around you out there, Alabama. Go get you some today. Andy, take us through that bracket. 3A.
3A South, it was Thomasville falling to St. James 40-15, and it was Mobile Christian defeating Pike County 27-7. So in the 3A South semifinals, you got St. James matching up with Mobile Christian. In the 3A North, it was Geraldine 27, Sylvania 7, and it was Piedmont over Gordo 27-14. So Geraldine and Piedmont get together in a great semifinal matchup, 3A North.
In the 2A South bracket, it was B.B. Comer holding off Reeltown 28-22. The final there, B.B. Comer gets the win in Sylacauga. They'll move on to face Highland Home. Highland Home shut out Clark County tonight, 19-0. In the 2A North bracket, it was the Fife Red Devils 35-7 over Tuscaloosa Academy, and Pisgah holding off Aliceville 26-22. So in the 2A North, you've got Fife and Pisgah next week in the semifinals. In the 2A South, it's B.B. Comer and Highland Home in the 2A South semifinals. Scores on the Fours is brought to you by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles. We got a few minutes left in the show, so we're going to come back here in just a few minutes. We're going to talk about college football, and then we'll close it out for the season here on the AHSAA Radio Network.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto, central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
Hillaby Towers is an affordable senior citizens community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East. Spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today to find out more information on Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552. That's Hillaby Towers in Alexander City.
Have you met your local Farmers Insurance agent, Patrick Holina? He proudly serves Tallapoosa County and Alexander City families and businesses and is ready to review your existing policies or provide a no-obligation quote today. Call the Holina Agency at 256-234-0037 or stop in today at 704 Commerce Drive to get smarter about your insurance. Again, that's the Holina Agency, 256-234-0037.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Dadeville is home to Lake Martin Community Hospital and Lake Martin Family Medicine, both a division of Ivy Creek Healthcare, with great physicians, nurse practitioners, and nurses who provide extraordinary, compassionate care for Dadeville and surrounding Lake Martin areas. Medicaid, Medicare, and most private insurances are welcome. For your home health and hospice needs, you may also use Ivy Creek Home Health and Ivy Creek Hospice. Ivy Creek, always providing quality care in the communities our patients call home.
Finding a job might be tough, but starting your new career has never been easier. Wellborn Cabinet in Ashland has a wide array of career opportunities with benefits. General labor production, skilled cabinet builders, product assembly line, shipping, over-the-road truck drivers, clerical, marketing, security, daycare, office clerks, and so much more. Apply in person, 38669 Highway 77 South in Ashland, or online at wellborn.com. Building cabinets, building careers, and building our community.
Kia of Auburn is excited it's November, and we have a lot to be thankful for. Our inventory is growing daily, so you have a lot to choose from. The new 2023 Kia Telluride is now on our lot. The 2023 Kia Telluride has that head-turning wow factor with its bold good looks and equipped with a long list of standard features. Shop us in person at 1687 South College or anytime online at KiaofAuburn.com. Kia of Auburn, where you are always number one.
It's time for the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show Team of the Week, celebrating the history and traditions of some of Alabama's top programs. This week's Team of the Week, the XL High School Panthers. XL fielded their first team in 1921, had their first 10-0 regular season in 1968, first playoff win in 1969, and first region championship in 1975. And in 1975, XL completed a 43-game consecutive win streak. XL has one state playoff championship in 1969 and 12 region championships, with an overall record of 454 wins, 391 losses, and 22 ties. They've produced 59 All-State players, 1 NFL player, and have spent a total of 8 weeks ranked number 1 in the state. This week's AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show Team of the Week, the XL Panthers, on the AHSAA Radio Network. Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network. XL, the Panthers, our Team of the Week this week. Home of?
Leroy Jordan.
Leroy Jordan, the great Leroy Jordan. That's right. If they stay
Took me 2 years, but I got it.
That's right. If they stay in bounds, Leroy will get them. All right, let's talk a little bit before we go here and kind of close out the show for the season. Auburn Western Connect 1, Alabama Austin P. We don't expect any drama. It'll be what it'll be.
Yeah.
Auburn
if you
Western.
can tell me where Austin P is located, I'll give you.
I don't know.
Clarksville, Tennessee.
Okay, there you go. I was going to say somewhere in North Carolina, but anyway. So let's talk about Auburn Western Kentucky. I'm not expecting drama in this game, but the line on it is so low.
Yeah, look, I mean, Western Kentucky can score points. They are number 1 in the country in takeaways. They've had 30 turnovers gained. They're not a bad team, but if Auburn can run the football, they'll win this game.
Their offensive line averages 260 pounds.
You just can't. Auburn cannot throw the ball. So if they can get 3 or 4 big plays in the passing game, I think they win going away. But I just don't know if they can pull away from anybody right now.
This is one of those where the size and physicality of an SEC football team, even a team that's struggling, where the size and the physicality, this should be a game where Auburn runs it 45 times and throws it 15. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. And I think if it's a big crowd, and I think that if they can jump start it, because, at Western Kentucky, 3 o'clock, those teams have a tendency to be sluggish. If that's the case and Auburn comes out slow, they could be down, 10, 14 points early. So if they come out, they're ready to play, I think they win.
I mean, again, I think they win. It's Western Kentucky, Andy.
I know, but this is not a normal year. They have an interim coach. We're 4-6.
But the interim coach is 1-1.
That's true.
Okay, so we could look at it that way. I think Western Kentucky hangs around, maybe scores some points, 14, 17, something like that. And Auburn kind of grinds it out, 35 to 17, 38 to 17.
I said 34-24 today.
So. Okay, yeah, something like that. I mean, I can see something like that. So that one makes sense to me. So before we get out of here, let me do this. Let me thank Tucker Beckett for his score gathering all year. Kane Presley, thank you so much for your help scoring. Our fantastic producer, Mr. Ryan Fuller.
Man behind the glass.
Man behind the glass, who does a great job with the Scoreboard Show every year. Of course, Luke Robinson, Andy Graham, Brett, Randy, all our contributors, guests, all our great affiliates all over the state. We haven't had any technical trouble this year, knock on wood, with a couple of minutes left in the show, in the final show. If you or your station, if you'd like to be hearing the Super 7 on your local radio station, visit AHSAARadionetwork.com. You can inquire about affiliation there. We'll get you all the information you need to be able to carry all 7 of the championship games coming up from Jordan-Hare Stadium. They're almost set now. 7A is set. It's going to be fantastic. We've got Auburn and Thompson, and then we'll get the semifinals next week of the other 6 classifications and get the finals all set up there. Get ready for a great weekend. I think I'm calling 2 games that Friday, 4A and 2A, I believe, that Friday. So should be a fun weekend coming up in Auburn. Right now, it's time for one last Scores on the Fours. It's brought to you by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles. Andy, 1A.
I'm going slow, JJ. They're closing things out.
There you
1A, South Bracket. It was Millry over Sweetwater, 41-6. It was Leroy over Brantley, 42-14. So Milry and Leroy in the 1A South bracket. In the 1A North bracket, it was Pickens County defeating Marion County 40-14, and Coosa Christian hosted Lynn and won 46-29. So Pickens County and Coosa Christian in the 1A North bracket.
All right. In the Alabama Independent School Association, 3 championship games were played yesterday at Montgomery's Crampton Bowl. In the morning game, it was Class 1A. Lowndes Academy defeats Jackson Academy. Lowndes wins back-to-back titles, first back-to-back titles in the history of the program. In Class 2A, Patrician Academy defeats Clark Prep 60-0, rolling up 533 yards rushing in that championship game. And in the Class 3A title game, it was Lee Scott Academy 35, Glenwood 21. Lee Scott only had 84 yards and 2 first downs in the second half, but 65 of those yards came on a touchdown play, which gave them the 2-score lead, and they held off Glenwood at the end to get the win. Lee Scott 35, Glenwood 21. So your AHSAA state champions, Lee Scott in 3A, Patrician in 2A, Lowndes in 1A. That is Scores on the Fours, brought to you by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles, and that is the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show for 2022. We'll see you at the Super 7 in Jordan here in a couple of weeks here on the AHSAA Radio Network.
Take an E. Let's go over this again. Who starts off with a real Coke taste? Coca-Cola! And then Coca-Cola pitches the real Coke taste to who? Coca-Cola! How is Coca-Cola going to give a real Coke taste to itself? Take a lap, genius! Coca-Cola takes a snap and then pitches the real Coke taste to Coke Zero running up on the right. You got it? Yeah! At that point, we fake punt the real Coke taste. Who fakes the punt? Coke Zero! Take a lap! Coke Zero! Real Coke taste! 0 calories!
Hello, my name is Dave Milton with Southeastern Land Group. I'd like to tell you a little bit about our company. We sell farmland and timberland in Alabama and the surrounding states. Not only do we have a land sales division, but we also have a timber sales division where we can help you with your timber sales and your timber appraisals. There's 22 of us in our group scattered throughout the southeastern United States. We are a full-service land and timber sales company. We do with farmland, timberland, cattle property, poultry farms. 866-751-LAND. Go to the website, selandgroup.com.
The taste of the South starts out here. However you roll into work, you can bring the flavor with Jack's Breakfast Catering. Huge scratch-made buttermilk biscuits and hearty breakfast sandwiches, mixed or matched, starting at just $15. Don't forget to add delicious fresh ground Royal Cup coffee and classic breakfast sides, because great work starts with great breakfast. Breakfast catering starting at $15 from Jack's. All about the South.
Here in Alabama, we love our families, our state, and we love our country. At Charleston Gas Lanterns, we use nothing but the finest materials and the purest copper. Everything we use to make our handcrafted gas and electric copper lanterns is sourced in the USA, and each lantern is built right here in Mobile. Make your home or business stand out. Located at 1800 East Service Road, I-65. Set an appointment to come by 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, the building with the large lantern on top. Or give us a call, 251-478-0072. Charleston Gas Lanterns, where being number one is not just a tradition, it's a way of life.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
Joining us here on the AHSAA Radio Network. You've been listening to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. Presented by Jacksonville State University, the Alabama Department of Transportation, JAX, Main Street Family Care, Russell Do-It Centers, Southern Union State Community College, Southeastern Land Group, and by wickedly delicious Wickles Pickles. This is the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show.